So virtually nobody has asked me why I want to pursue horsemanship and like a cowboy, horse training, cattleman lifestyle. And in this video, I'm going to discuss these things, even though nobody asked me. And I think what it boils down to is people, especially within America, are infatuated with this lifestyle and they just don't understand how somebody could get into it. And I think a lot of people have an unclear or a not true reason why people do it. So here we go. So first things first, my family in Nevada, they they work on ranches and they have horses and they have livestock. Now, when I was growing up, I lived with my mom in California most of the time. Now, in California, I didn't like this horsemanship cowboy stuff. I was actually a really good basketball player, in my opinion. And I kind of just blew off my family in Nevada, other than a few times when I was younger that I would go to brandings and some gatherings. So my background is not in the cowboy horse world, but I do have half of my family that is, and that is also the half of my family that currently trying to get back to my roots to and work alongside, and I get a lot of help and direction from them. So pursuing this, it all comes down to I think two different things. The number one thing was go to the Air Force Academy, and I wanted something to do. So I decided to join the rodeo team, where I subsequently found that I'm not much of a rodeo type person. I don't necessarily like how they ride and their style. There's nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't for me. So joined the rodeo team and I got into horsemanship, where this guy named Travis Elliston, he took me under his wing and he showed me how to ride a horse. We started from a walk to a trot to a lope, and I sucked. I wasn't good at all. But I did have this older mentor type figure come into my life who really just poured into me and took me under his wing and just encouraged me to seek and pursue this lifestyle. And once I started doing that, and he taught me so much stuff about horses that I started thinking, wow, this is really applicable to life. Certain things like make the right thing easy and the wrong thing hard. And I just I started riding horses, and any horse that I could get my hands on I would try and work with. And it really did change my perspective on life. I had to learn to slow down, and I learned how to look for the smallest details. And it's addicting, riding a horse and getting into a lope and just sitting there and going through the exercises and different things and trying to become one with your horse is addicting to me. And I'm still pursuing that. Obviously, I don't have my own horse, but I think that through riding, I would probably say around 30 different horses so far, that I've become a better horseman, and I'm learning so much that it just encourages me to keep moving forward. And then the second reason is the historical reason behind it. In history, we see the cowboy or the cattle drive era who joined these cattle drives as typically somebody who didn't know what they were doing. And by the end of 3 to 6 months, at the end of the trail, they were an experienced cowboy. They could ride broncs, they could do all sorts of stuff. And this is the cowboy that is romanticized, the cowboy who people today think of. We say, oh, look, a cowboy, they think of that. they don't think of the hard work and dedication that cowboys today have. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that I am not a cowboy, okay? I only worked on a ranch for 6 months. My background is not in horses, and most of my information that I've picked up came from those six weeks working on a ranch, Travis Elliston, and asking my family, along with going to horse clinics and watching YouTube videos. So, if you're looking for real practical experience, yes, you can ask me, but I'm also not the perfect candidate to talk about these things just because I don't know. I need to get some water. Yeah. But moving forward, I'm planning on maybe taking some ranching internships and just diving into that lifestyle and learning as much as I can before I'm 30. Now, I'm a historian, and the history side of cowboys and cattlemen and all that just fascinates me. And so I want to get as close as possible to this source. I want to learn from maybe third generation cattle drive people who have been ranching for their entire lives, who are in their 80s, and they have so much information to give about it, and finding out the truth behind it, not necessarily the bronc ballets that they talk about and riding horses and wearing white hats and shooting guns and all the lawlessness. I'm more interested in the surviving history of it. I'm interested in finding out whether or not these crazy facts, maybe like Billy the Kid, that's more of like a Wild West thing, but was Billy the Kid really the way he was? And so I think that through pursuing this lifestyle and these goals and dreams that I have, I can get closer to the roots of cowboys, to be honest. Now, I personally would like to be a horse trainer and cattleman. I don't want to be a cowboy. And if you want, you can check out my other videos that talk about what a cowboy is to understand my definition of it. And basically, these are the reasons why I am pursuing horsemanship and becoming a cattleman and working on my cowboy skills, just because I felt like I fell in love with it, you know? I needed something to do, and this was it. And it's a really rewarding experience, you know? And also, I love history. And I think that this job is the quintessential American job. I mean, we created it. So that's why I want to become a horseman, cowboy, cattleman. And some other videos that might go more in depth, but that's all for today. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit the like button, and if you don't, I don't care because nobody else is subscribing or liking. So have a good day.